How to make people afraid to disrespect you. Machiavelli's law of fear. They tell you lies. Beautiful, comfortable lies that keep you weak. You've been taught that kindness wins respect. That being nice gets you ahead. That if you smile enough, work hard enough, and stay humble enough, the world will notice your worth and treat you accordingly. This is the philosophy of sheep, and sheep get slaughtered. Niccolo Machiavelli have spent his entire life studying power. Not the fantasy version they sell you in movies, but the raw, unfiltered reality of how human beings actually behave when no one is watching. The truth is this: respect is not earned through goodness. It is commanded through strength. The modern world has domesticated you. It has convinced you that your value depends on others' approval. You apologize for existing. You shrink when challenged. You laugh when insulted, hoping to keep the peace. You have been trained to be harmless, manageable, and predictable. But here's what they don't tell you. Harmless people get used. Manageable people get controlled. Predictable people get taken advantage of. You wonder why that colleague steals your ideas, why your friends make jokes at your expense, why people interrupt you, ignore your boundaries, and treat your time like it's worthless. It's because you've taught them they can. Every time you fail to respond to disrespect, you send a message. I am safe to abuse. Every time you laugh at an insult, you say, my dignity is negotiable. Every time you accept poor treatment without consequence, you announce, I have no power here. This ends now. The world operates on one simple law. People will treat you exactly as badly as you allow them to. Not how you deserve to be treated. Not how you hope to be treated. How you allow. Fear is not cruelty. It is clarity. When someone understands that disrespecting you comes with a cost, they stop testing your boundaries. When they know you are not a safe target, they find easier prey. When they realize you are a man of consequence, they adjust their behavior accordingly. You don't need to become a monster. You need to become dangerous to cross. There's a difference between being someone people hate and being someone people think twice about challenging. The lamb believes in the goodness of wolves until the moment it gets eaten. The wolf doesn't waste time hoping other wolves will be vegetarians. It makes itself too costly to attack. Which one are you? Chapter 1. The disease of being nice. Most men die twice. First, when they sacrifice their spine for approval. Second, when their body finally catches up. You've been infected with a disease. It's called chronic agreeableness, and it's killing your soul one no problem at a time. You say yes when you mean no. You laugh when you want to scream. You absorb insults like a sponge and call it maturity. This is not evolution. This is extinction. Look at your life honestly. How many times this week did someone take advantage of your niceness? How many times did you bite your tongue when you should have bitten back? How many opportunities slipped away because you were too polite to fight for them? Your niceness is not making you noble. It's making you invisible. The nice guy finishes last because he never enters the race. He's too busy helping others reach the finish line. He gives his best ideas away for free, then watches others get promoted for implementing them. He lets louder voices drown out his wisdom in meetings. He stays late to cover for lazy colleagues who leave early without guilt. But here's the cruelest part. The people you're being nice to don't even respect you for it. They see your constant accommodation as weakness. They interpret your refusal to fight as inability to fight. They assume your kindness comes from desperation, not strength. You think you're building relationships. You're actually building a reputation as someone who can be walked on. The truth about human nature is ugly but necessary. People respect boundaries, not kindness. They remember consequences, not favors. They fear strength, not weakness. When you're consistently nice, you become predictable. When you're predictable, you become manageable. When you're manageable, you become a tool for others to use. But when you're selective with your kindness, it becomes valuable. When you're unpredictable in your responses, people stay alert around you. When you're unmanageable, you become someone worth negotiating with. The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest. It's the calmest. The one who doesn't need to prove anything because his presence already proves everything. The one who speaks softly but carries consequences. Nice people ask for respect. Dangerous people command it. Your kindness should be a gift, not a guarantee. Your time should be earned, not assumed. Your forgiveness should be conditional, not automatic. From this moment forward, your niceness has terms and conditions. Break the terms, lose the kindness. It's that simple. The disease of being nice has convinced you that having standards makes you difficult. But standards don't make you difficult. They make you expensive to disrespect. And expensive things are handled with care. Chapter 2. Why fear works when love fails. Love is a luxury. Fear is a necessity. You've been told that being loved is the highest achievement in human relationships. This is romantic nonsense. Love without fear is worthless. It's the emotional equivalent of a currency with no backing, pretty to look at, pleasant to hold, but ultimately powerless when tested. People who only love you will still betray you when it suits their interests. They'll rationalize it afterward. I didn't want to hurt him, but I had to think about my career. I care about her, but this opportunity was too good to pass up. He'll understand. He's such a nice guy. But people who fear you calculate differently. They don't just think about what they want. They think about what you might do. They don't just consider their desires. They consider your reactions. This is not about making people terrified of you. It's about making them terrified of the consequences of disrespecting you. The person who loves you might forget the favor you did for them last month. But they will never forget the consequence they faced for crossing you last year. Gratitude fades. Memory of pain endures. When someone considers lying to you, they should feel a cold knot in their stomach. When they think about undermining you, their mind should immediately jump to the last person who tried it and what happened to them. When they imagine disrespecting you, the image should be followed immediately by the thought, what will he do? This is the mathematics of respect. Love plus fear equals loyalty. Love without fear equals exploitation. Fear without love equals revolution. But love alone? Love alone equals target practice. The goal is not to be hated. The goal is to be respected so thoroughly that disrespect becomes unthinkable. You want people to like you, but you need them to understand that crossing you is expensive. Think about the people in your life who command the most respect. Are they the nicest? Or are they the ones you wouldn't dare disrespect? The boss who never raises his voice, but somehow everyone listens to. The friend who's generous and loyal, but has clear lines you know not to cross. The family member who loves you, but would cut you off without hesitation if you betrayed that love. These people understand the balance. They're not cruel, but they're not safe to abuse. They're not mean, but they're not cheap to disrespect. They've learned the secret. Respect flows toward strength, not kindness. Your love should be conditional on how you're treated. Your kindness should have limits. Your forgiveness should come with terms. And your consequences should be memorable. When people know that disrespecting you will cost them something valuable, Your time, your support, your cooperation, your silence about their flaws. They stop gambling with your dignity. Fear doesn't make you a tyrant. It makes you expensive to cross. And expensive things are treated with care. Chapter 3. The art of controlled distance. Proximity breeds contempt. Distance creates mystique. The biggest mistake you make is being too available, too eager to please, too quick to respond, too willing to accommodate. You think this makes you a good friend, a reliable colleague, a loving partner. Actually, it makes you a doormat with a pulse. When you're always there, you lose value. When you always say yes, your yes becomes meaningless. When you never create consequences, your boundaries become suggestions. The solution is strategic withdrawal, controlled distance, calculated unavailability. This doesn't mean becoming cold or cruel. It means becoming selective. Your time, your energy, your attention, these are finite resources. When you give them away freely, they become worthless. When you make them scarce, they become precious. Start saying no. Not with anger or long explanations. Just no. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. Watch how people's respect for your time changes when they realize it's not automatically theirs. When someone disrespects you, don't argue. Don't explain. Don't try to make them understand. Simply create distance. Stop initiating contact. Stop being so quick to respond. Stop being so eager to help. Let them feel the chill of your absence. This is the power of withdrawal. It's not punishment, it's consequence. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. You're simply demonstrating what their behavior costs them. Most people will notice the change. Some will panic and try to win back your attention. Others will get angry and accuse you of being distant or difficult. Both reactions tell you everything you need to know about their character. The ones who panic understand your value and fear losing it. These are people worth keeping close, but only if they adjust their behavior. The ones who get angry were only interested in what you could do for them. These are people worth letting go. Your presence should feel like a privilege, not a guarantee. When you walk into a room, it should matter. When you speak, it should carry weight. When you withdraw, it should be felt. Create scarcity around yourself. Be harder to reach. Be slower to forgive. Be quicker to walk away from situations that don't serve you. Be more selective about who gets your best energy. The goal is not to become a hermit. It's to become expensive. When people know that access to you must be earned and can be lost, they treat that access with respect. Distance is your reset button. It gives you perspective and gives others consequence. It reminds everyone involved that your participation in their life is a choice, not an obligation. The people who truly value you will respect your boundaries and work to maintain their place in your life. The people who don't weren't worth your time anyway. Chapter 4. The power of strategic silence. Your words are weapons. Silence is your nuclear option. In a world where everyone feels compelled to have an opinion about everything, where people tweet their thoughts before they think them, where constant communication is confused with meaningful communication, your silence becomes your strength. When someone insults you, they expect a reaction. They want anger, defensiveness, justification. They're fishing for an emotional response because emotional responses reveal weakness. The moment you react emotionally, you've given them power over your internal state. Instead, give them nothing. A blank stare, a slight pause, complete indifference to their attempt to rattle you. This silence is louder than any comeback you could deliver. It says, "Your opinion of me is so irrelevant that I won't even dignify it with a response. Most people cannot handle silence. They'll try to fill it with more words, more explanations, more attempts to get a rise out of you. Let them. Every additional word they speak while you remain silent makes them look more desperate and makes you look more in control. Silence in response to disrespect is a power move. It forces the other person to question themselves. Why isn't he reacting? Did I not hit hard enough? Does he know something I don't? Is he planning something? Your silence becomes their obsession. Use silence strategically in all areas of your life. When a colleague tries to take credit for your work in a meeting, don't immediately defend yourself. Let the silence hang. Let everyone absorb what just happened. Then, when you do speak, make it count. That's an interesting interpretation of my proposal from last week. When someone tries to pressure you into a decision, don't rush to fill the silence with a response. Pause. Think. Let them squirm in the quiet while you consider your options. People interpret your calm deliberation as confidence and depth. When you're accused of something you didn't do, resist the urge to immediately defend yourself. Innocent people often look guilty when they protest too much. Instead, raise an eyebrow. Pause. Then calmly ask, why would you think that? Put the burden of proof back on them. Your silence should be so unnerving that people prefer your words. But when you do speak, make every word count. Speak slower than you think you should. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Use fewer words to say more. The loud person appears desperate. The quiet person appears dangerous. The person who always has something to say appears thoughtless. The person who speaks only when necessary appears wise. Your silence is not passive, it's active. It's a choice. It's a weapon that cuts deeper than any insult because it denies your opponent the satisfaction of a reaction. Master your tongue and you master your power. When you control your words, you control your image. When you control your image, you control how others treat you. Let your silence speak louder than their noise. Chapter 5. Building your reputation as dangerous. Reputation is everything. It's the crown you wear before you've conquered anything. It's the armor you put on before the battle begins. It's the weapon that fights for you when you're not even in the room. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to build a reputation for being nice, being helpful, being agreeable. They want to be known as the person who never says no, never causes problems, never rocks the boat. This is a reputation for weakness disguised as virtue. You need a different reputation. You need to be known as someone who should not be tested, someone whose lines are clearly marked and lethally defended, someone who responds to disrespect with swift, decisive consequence. This reputation is built through consistency, not intensity. You don't need to destroy someone publicly to make your point. You need to respond every single time your boundaries are crossed. Small infractions get small consequences. Big infractions get bigger ones. But nothing goes unanswered. When someone is consistently late to meetings with you, stop scheduling meetings with them. When someone interrupts you repeatedly, stop talking mid-sentence and stare at them until they realize what they've done. When someone borrows your ideas, start keeping your best thoughts to yourself until after they've committed to their inferior version. The goal is not to be cruel. The goal is to be educational. You're teaching people how to treat you through the natural consequences of their choices. Your reputation should whisper certain things about you before you even speak. He doesn't forget. She doesn't let things slide. Cross him and there will be consequences. She's fair, but she's not soft. He's reasonable until you're not. This reputation gives you power in every interaction. People will check themselves before disrespecting you. They'll think twice before testing your patience. They'll consider the cost before crossing your lines. You build this reputation by never letting disrespect go unpunished and never breaking your word. When you say something will happen, it happens. When you warn someone about consequences, those consequences materialize. When you set a boundary, it gets enforced. Consistency is everything. If you let something slide once, people assume you'll let it slide again. If you make threats you don't follow through on, your words become meaningless. If you forgive the same offense repeatedly, you're teaching people that your boundaries are negotiable. Your reputation should make people think, I don't want to find out what happens if I disrespect him. Not because you're a monster, but because you're a man of your word who values himself enough to defend his dignity. The most powerful reputation you can have is this: reasonable but unforgiving, fair but not soft, kind but not weak, approachable but not safe to abuse. When people know that disrespecting you will cost them something they value, they stop gambling with your dignity. When your reputation does the work for you, you don't have to. Chapter 6. The Final Truth. Power is not about dominating others. It's about never allowing yourself to be dominated. Respect is not about being loved by everyone. It's about being taken seriously by everyone who matters. Fear is not about being hated. It's about making disrespect expensive. You now understand the laws that govern human interaction, the uncomfortable truths about human nature, the strategies that separate those who command respect from those who beg for it. This knowledge comes with a price. You will lose some people. The ones who were only comfortable with you when you were manageable will not like your transformation. They will call you cold, difficult, changed. Let them. These are the complaints of people who miss having easy access to someone they could take advantage of. Their discomfort is proof that your evolution is working. You will also discover who truly values you. These people will respect your new boundaries. They will appreciate your selective kindness. They will understand that your time and energy are finite resources that must be earned. The path of respect through strength is lonelier than the path of approval through compliance. But it's also more honest. The people who stay in your life when you have standards are people worth keeping. Remember, you teach people how to treat you by what you accept. If you accept disrespect, you will get more of it. If you make disrespect costly, you will get less of it. Your dignity is not negotiable. Your boundaries are not suggestions. Your time is not free. Your kindness is not automatic. Your forgiveness is not guaranteed. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to live with self-respect. You are not here to be everyone's friend. You are here to be someone worth respecting. The world is full of sheep pretending to be wolves, and wolves pretending to be sheep. Be neither. Be a man who commands respect through strength, who earns loyalty through consistency, and who creates fear through consequences. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. This is not aggression. This is self-respect. This is not about becoming someone to be feared. This is about becoming someone who should not be tested. The choice is yours. Continue to be the person others feel safe disrespecting, or become the person others think twice about crossing. But remember, respect earned through fear lasts longer than respect earned through favor. And a man who respects himself enough to defend his dignity will find that others respect him too. The world is watching. Show them who you really are.